Hello, I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with not Wolves reporter, Walsall reporter, but Wolves reporter for the day, Mr. George Bennett. No Liam Keane today, so it was a nice change, to be honest, George. What did you make of Vitor Pereira?
Yeah, I thought I was really impressed. Quite a vibrant character.
He is, yeah.
Cracking a few jokes.
Yeah,
interesting personality.
He is, yeah. Look. End of the day, they need to get results. That's the most important thing. Bournemouth away, difficult. 5th place Bournemouth as well. It's going to be a tough game, and it's going to get even tougher because they've lost their big boy at the back, haven't they? In terms of Emmanuel Agbadou missing probably, we're estimating 3 to 4 weeks, but he's going to miss multiple games. That's a big blow for Wolves.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, he's been emerged as a key player since his winter arrival. So a big blow at the back, and Vitor Pereira was very backing though of his potential replacements. Feel probably Santiago Bueno is going to be exactly that, and is confident, that they can cope without him and fill the void that he will clearly leave. But yeah, clearly it's a blow.
Yeah, it's a big blow. He's been superb. Obviously had a difficult game against Liverpool, but yeah, as you said there, Santiago Bueno, and a lot of people and a lot of fans think that the Nasser Giga will go straight into that starting lineup. Look, he could do, and he needs everybody to be ready. I think Pereira was stressed that everybody needs to be ready if they're needed. But that it will be Santiago Bueno who gets that slot. He came on, did pretty well against Liverpool in that second half at Anfield. At the same time, there are issues elsewhere as well. No Rodrigo Gomez.
Yeah, exactly that. But in terms of sort of the potential striking options, we've obviously got Jürgen Strand Larsen, which will be a major plus. But we were speaking about ourselves with the sort of nature of the injury. Will he be brought in straight from the start? That's kind of the question mark around sort of who will lead the line as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you look at Jürgen Strand Larsen, another hamstring. I mean, bloody hell, everybody's had hamstring injuries this season, but missed the last 3 games. Was in that defeat against Arsenal, wasn't he, where he injured it. But great to have him back in the starting 11, hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, you think that's going to come across maybe a little bit too soon, and we're probably going to see him from the bench, which begs the question: who's going to play up front? We saw Guedes and Sarabia support Matheus Cunha. They got hauled off at half time. We saw Manetzi come on along with Jean-Ric Bellegarde. He was asked, wasn't he, Vitor Pereira, about Manetzi and potentially playing as a striker. What did he have to say on that?
Exactly that. Kind of it has been suggestive really that in terms of the sort of advanced role he's playing, that he was sort of kind of being used as a makeshift striker, and he basically kind of rebuffed those claims and said he's an 8. He sees him as a box to box, and maybe the way in which he sort of operates in such attacking positions, it can seem like that, but in his mind he's clearly operating as a centre midfielder. Yeah,
and then you say, right, okay, if Jürgen Strand Larsen doesn't play, if Manetzi's not going to play, who's going to come in? Who's going to play in that 10 role? That 9 role even. Matheus Cunha is obviously starting. Sarabia, I'm not too sure whether he's going to get the start, but he did say that he's going to keep faith with some of his plays. He's going to back some of his plays. So I actually think that we might see Manetzi come into a midfield 3, and that Gonçalo Guedes will probably get the nod alongside Matheus Cunha. But there's plenty of options he could go down.
Yeah, exactly that. He talked about sort of competition for places, and I think one thing as well that I was sort of very impressed with, and I think he sort of came out with a similar tone and rhetoric before the game against Anfield, is kind of the sort of fearlessness as well that he's trying to sort of instill in. Bournemouth maybe 5th place and vying for a Champions League spot, but we're Wolves, and we're confident that
got to think about themselves.
Exactly that, and you sort of might talk about that first half performance, and Pereira was sort of critical and frustrated about that at Liverpool. But then you look at that second half display, and it just shows that the fearlessness that he's instilled in these players.
Yeah, he commented, Pereira, saying that we sat back too much, and if we sat back again on Saturday, then we're going to leave ourselves open to and susceptible to goals and potential penalties. He wants them to go forward. He wants them to press.
Yeah, exactly that. He mentioned that many a times, and when he was talking about Santiago Bueno, he sort of mentioned if there's players that are that are fearful and step back, then clearly it's going to upset the balance of the team, and that's what he wants, is for them to be front foot, for them to be pressing exactly that.
Yeah, look, I mean, Bournemouth have got so many good players, haven't they? Kluivert, Semenyo, Torres, amazing. Oh, amazing, like fantastic. So it's going to be a difficult game. In terms of the formation, I'll have a little bit of guess. Keno's not here this week, of course, so I think there will be 2 changes from the side that got beat at Anfield. Jose Sarr in goal will go right to left at the back 5. Nelson Semedo, Matt Doherty. I think, as we discussed, Santiago Bueno will replace Emmanuel Agbadou. Totti Gomez on the left, and then, of course, Ryan Nuri left wing back. I'm going to say midfield 3, though, and he has talked about it a couple of weeks ago that he is considering a 3 now. Andre João Gomez as your 2, and I think that we might see the Premier League debut from the start of Marshall Menezes. I think Pablo Sarabia goes to one side, and I think we see Mateus Cunha and Guedes up front. It's going to be an interesting one. George, first timer here, please give me your prediction of the score. There's a lot of people watching, so don't spoil it. Don't spoil your good work.
You put me on the spot there, haven't you? I feel...
Don't mess it up.
I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1, okay, we'll take 1-1. We'll take
1-1.
I went 1-0 on the podcast, but I'm not going to say who to. Big one, Ollie Westbury is there with me tomorrow because Keno's on a stag do. For all the build-up on this one, make sure you look on to expressandstar.com.